I love this. You are a pastor in El Paso. We have like a third of a country western song. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah, do they call you El Pastor?
Yeah, you're El Pastor from El Paso. Tell me, what about the denomination of your church? What is the religious leaning of your flock?
Well, it's a non-denominational church.
Completely non-denominational.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay.
So no, I don't have to wear vestments. I've only had to wear vestments once. We can wear casual jeans. We're like the refreshed Conan show where we can wear casual jackets and jeans.
Yes.
Hey.
Thank you. You know what? Thank you. My concept when we did a revamp on our show was that I wanted the show to be non-denominational.
Yeah.
So that's why I just started dressing like a casual El Paso hipster pastor. And you and I are exactly on the same track.
Yeah, we essentially have just been watering down whatever you do for the last 20 or so years and trying to put a fresh religious coat of paint on it now.
So this is fascinating to me. I'm very excited to talk to you because I have a lot of questions. First of all, how large is your non-denominational congregation?
It's like 300-400 people.
And how many services a week do you do?
We do 2 every Sunday.
So you can completely, I'm going to tell you something. I was raised Catholic. So of course they have to adhere to all of this strict text that I know by heart because I went to thousands and thousands of Catholic masses. And I know it all by heart. You get to freestyle. Is that right?
Well, sort of. I will say this. We've done something partially inspired by your show that I think we're regretting now. So
wait a minute. You're a religious leader and you're doing something that you got from our show. You're a terrible pastor. Terrible.
But I might need your help with this. So here's what we did. So one of the things I loved is seeing how you came back and essentially just trying to entertain people, just did whatever you could think of for several weeks, stuck at home. I remember you carrying around life-size cutouts of Kevin Hart in your backyard. I remember, all this stuff. And after watching a couple weeks of it, I realized we can literally do anything right now. So in this pandemic era, we can do it. We can try anything. So we tried doing a sock puppet. In lieu of not being able to actually teach kids and have like classes for kids on Sundays, we tried doing this sock puppet, and now we can't stop. Now the sock puppet has to appear every week, or people get angry. And
when you say people get angry, first of all, don't blame me for your sock puppet bit, okay? Don't put that on me, man. You made the choice to say, don't say, I watched Conan, he was freestyling a bit, so then we did a sock puppet. The sock puppet is obviously for kids. And is it the kids who insist that it comes back? Because when the adults are saying, hey man, where's the sock puppet? You have a problem.
That is exactly what's happening.
Really?
The adults were
Really?
like, where's the puppet? Because before we do like the sermon or homily or whatever you want to call it, we do a mini version for the kids because we haven't been able to do classes, because of safety reasons and stuff. And so we basically have to do a Mr. Rogers version of the sermon in 2 minutes for children with a sock puppet. But we can't get rid of him. So we need a way.
You can't get rid of him, meaning he's too popular.
Yeah, he's
People
too powerful.
Insist that you do it.
And so I'm wondering if you've ever had a bit that you feel like, you know what, this bit we need to write this, we need to be done with the bit, but you can't because people just keep. What do I do?
Well, first of all, I still have more questions. First of all, I totally relate to we have a bit and it's got to stop. That I've experienced since 1993 about 650,000 times. That happens all the time. How do you stop it? That's a very good question. Yes, because we had this is going way, way, way back to the beginning of the show, but we had a character called Pimpbot. He was a robot pimp. And
so very similar bit.
And by the way, I just forgot that you were a pastor. But anyway, he was a robot pimp, and so he was like a bad 1950s robot, bleep bleep blorp blorp. But he was dressed like a late 60s 70s stereotypical pimp, and he was always talking about his profession in a very graphic way. And people love Pimpbot. And then we stopped doing it in like 94 for 10 years after that. whenever I would pass young people, they'd be like, dude, Pimpbot, when's he coming back? And I thought, it's been a decade. And you're still asking me about Pimpbot? And they'd be like, Pimpbot, we've got to have Pimpbot. So I'm going to tell you right now that it's very hard to get rid of, especially once you've created a character and a puppet, no less. What's the name of the puppet?
Freddy the Moose.
Oh,
you're screwed. Freddy the Moose. I haven't even seen Freddy the Moose, and I love Freddy the Moose.
Yeah, me too.
it's cute.
You can't get rid of Freddy the Moose.
No.
I forbid you.
Oh, no. This
the
is
Moose.
backfiring. This is not...
I'm not going to help you get rid of Freddy the Moose. Freddy the Moose, I wish I had thought of Freddy the Moose. In fact, tune in next week. You may see me talking to my own Freddy the Moose. I'll change it just a little bit so I can steal it. But when you see me talking to Teddy the Elk, you'll know that you've been ripped off. But wait a minute. How does he talk? How does he sound? Can you give us a little of him?
Okay. Do you want to see him?
Well, that's... okay, yes.
You don't have to. It's okay. You can say no.
Of course we want to see him.
No, we want to see him, but
You have
back
to go
me
get
up.
Freddy.
Back me up, team. Doesn't this sound a little bit like one of those ventriloquists who's talking about his dummy a little too much?
It's not.
And then he says, do you want to meet him?
I'm a little
And then he
worried,
says, oh, he's got quite the life. And then you all start to get scared and we back out of the room.
Yeah. Your screener.
And then later, Sona's sleeping and little tiny hands start to strangle her.
Oh, no.
He's going to come in just
Freddy the Moose.
briefly. He's going to say hi, and then he's going to peace out. He's very busy.
Whoa, this is a separate entity.
Oh my
This isn't
God,
even
look
you.
at him. He's
Whoa.
adorable.
Oh, wow.
Let's hear him. Let's hear. Who am I? What, you don't recognize me? I've been on television for 30 years.
I can't believe you
What do you mean, who are you? How dare you?
Hello, Mr. Cohen.
It's Conan, not Cohan. I'm not George M. Cohan. Oh my God, the person working the puppet has no idea who I am. This is so insulting on so many
Freddy.
levels.
I think you're
Hello, who are you? Hello, Mr. Cohan.
Say goodbye, Freddy.
No.
Oh my
You know
God,
what?
I love Freddy.
I know.
Yeah,
what
Freddy-
if Freddy could name Sona and me perfectly? Though?
Yeah. I really prefer Matt Gorley. He's a terrific podcaster. And Sonam Movsesian, I mean, her trip to Armenia was inspiring. Now, who's Cohan?
So
Wow.
specific.
I love it. That puppet took me
Freddy.
down. That puppet's a lot like Triumph, the insult comic dog. He took me right out at the knees. And I feel bested. Why get rid of him? What's wrong? I don't see a problem here. You have a bit. In my profession, if you have a bit that's working and making people happy, you've struck gold. Mm-hmm. Keep the puppet going. What's wrong with it?
Well, I think we're going to have to now at this point because you've validated him and he's going to now want a higher billing on the liturgy.
I mean, above God. He's going to want to be above.
Yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of headaches.
Now, let me ask you something. Let's say someone, God forbid, passed away and there was a funeral rite. The puppet, Freddy, wouldn't show up and be like, oh, I'm so sad that Mr. Smith, it's not Smith, it's Samuels, whatever, passed away. You're not going to, he wouldn't show up at that, would he?
Look, at this point, what Freddy can and can't do, I feel like he's driving the bus. I feel like at this point, my performance review is going to be with him at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this has all the makings of a terrific horror movie. A pastor, his puppet in El Paso. Look at all the P's and the plosives.
Yeah.
A pastor and his puppet in El Paso are trapped in this hellish duel to the death, the two of you, because you can't get rid of him and his power grows every day and yours weakens.
Yeah, it's true.
So now at some point, the way this movie might end is the puppet becomes more like you become more like the puppet, and at the end, Freddy's giving the liturgy, the sermon, whatever you call it, what do you call it?
The sermon, yeah.
The talk, the sermon. And then you're brought in, you're the puppet at the end.
Oh, man.
And you become that which you loathed, and now he's in charge.
I think we could sell this. I think this is a saleable concept.
Well, first of all, that means a lot coming from a pastor in El Paso. Because who knows this business better than you?
Listen, Conan,
Ricky,
I know $1 million ideas here.